Welcome to the G League Rundown. If you guys were hanging with us for Wizards Outlook, we truly appreciate it. Once again, we got Raymond Lyons, Cardell Dudley Jr., Wilson Turpe Jr., and welcome to the inaugural edition of the NBA G League Rundown. What we will be doing here is, every Wednesday and Friday, keep you guys updated on what's happening in the G League. With the scores going through the slate of games each day. Cardell Reyes share with you guys some players who stood out individually to them. Then we'll have bi-weekly notes on the Ignite team, and then the Bayhawks, and then players in a section called On the Verge, players that we feel like, again, like what it says, on the verge, that should be ready to be called up for NBA teams that should need them. All right, so we will start with today's slate of games. Everything started this morning with the Santa Cruz Warriors taking on the G League Ignite. The G League team, the G League Ignite won 109-104. The second game of the day, Memphis Hustle fell to the Austin Spurs 119-111. Salt Lake City Stars fell to the Erie Bayhawks. And again, the Bayhawks is the team you guys are going to hear Ray and Cardell talk about a little bit because that's where some of the Wizards G Leaguers are for this pretty much month-long season. The Westchester Knicks beat the Fort Wayne Mad Ants 125-120. Iowa Wolves fell to the Long Island Nets 131-128. And the Raptors 905 beat Rio Grande Valley Vipers 132-105. Wow, so the G League Raptors only scored 3 points less than the adult Raptors tonight. So both of those teams had a lot of points. I'm sorry, I'm a little immature. It is what it is. We're here now, right? So what I ask you guys is looking at today's group of games. We can start with you, Cardell, and then Ray. Just share a couple players that you guys feel stood out.
For me, one was Trey Jones, Ty Jones' younger brother, actually, for the Austin Spurs. 18 points and 16 assists. I mean, damn, that's perfection, honestly. Only thing you kind of point at is, maybe his shooting efficiency. That wasn't the best, obviously, but I mean, heck, it's his first game. But 18 points and 16 assists, that gets you called up real quick. And we all know he brings tough defense. He was like that at Duke. So, I'm like, obviously, I like the start that he's off to right now. And Jerry Jack, local product, 37 years old, obviously an NBA vet, but what he did today, he controlled the game. He was flawless, man. He had 23 points, but when I say he killed from mid-range, he killed them young boys. He killed them. I mean, it was bad. Probing the way he came off, screening rolls, probing, finding guys, get to his spots when they left him. With any amount of space, he made them pay. And what made it worse is a lot of his shots didn't even touch the rim. So he was in full rhythm. He looks to be in great shape. I know the last couple of years he hasn't been in the league, but I think, when we last saw him, I think he played for the Knicks. You could see his body was breaking down, man. I think he took a couple of years off to get his body right. I saw him down at P3, on a regimen, just trying to get his body right, get it back in line, get it strong, and get healthy, man. Sometimes rest is what you need, man. You got to get rest to recuperate and get back, and you clearly see where he's at. He looks slim. He looks ready to go. If I didn't know who he was and I just finally just popped up and just checked out the game, there's no way I would have known he was 37 years old. He looked like he was in his mid-20s just going to work, trying to get a job. So salute to him, man. I love the fact I saw his interview. I love the fact how he's embracing the mentorship role, but still trying to show the league I got a lot left in the tank and I can help a team. I believe he can. You know what I'm saying? The one team we just got through covering, I feel he can help, man. But I know they got a lot of guards on their roster, but who knows? Also, Jordan Poole, the Warriors two-way guard. He had an impressive night for the Santa Cruz Warriors. Yeah, they lost to Ignite, but he had 22 points. I like his two-way ability. I like his athleticism, his length, and his versatility scoring the ball. He can score from all three levels, and then he's especially daily, off the bounce. So, I think he had a great game. And Jared Harper on the Westchester Knicks, 31 points, 13 assists on 10 of 15 shooting from the field, 4 or 5 shooting from three. Hey man, he a bucket, he's a flamethrower. He always has been that way. First time I saw him was on the EYBL circuit at Peach Jam. A lot of people don't know I think he was the point guard, Georgia Stars with Azubuike or whatnot, and Wendell Carter actually. I think he was the point guard if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but that's when I finally kind of took notice of him, and then obviously what he did in college, and he's just controlling him, and how quick he is. It's just and how tough he is. That's the thing that's separating him. He's quick, but when he gets in the lane, he loves contact. He takes it, and he's looking to finish. And then obviously he don't need many shots to get going. Once he's going, it's hard to kind of put that fire out. So that's a hell of a start for him. And then obviously he keep producing like that, he won't be there long.
All right, Ray.
Yeah, just off the back, like Khalil said, Trey Jones, man, that was just a clinic. Yeah, he controlled the game in every way offensively, and it helps to have an NBA pedigree that's automatically going to put you on the radar. To be perfectly honest, and then when you come out and show out like that, then it's really only a matter of time, especially if he keeps that up. Like, he don't have to have that monster of a game every game, but if he keep it in that realm, being productive and efficient, then he's going to get called up. But also his teammate Robert Woodard II, he was on the receiving end of a lot of them 16 assists. He had 25 points, 7 assists himself. So they if they continue to be in the G League together for a long time, then they won't torch them, because they look like they're in rhythm. They feed off each other well, and that's just a good pairing. Also, another player that stood out for me, Brian Bowen II for Wayne, 22 points, 12 rebounds, 5 steals. He just wreaked havoc, man. He was aggressive. He threw his weight around, and he did what he was supposed to do. Cassius Stanley, he had a rough shooting night, but I like his confidence. He's just an athletic guy. I think in due time he'll get some run in the league, but he just needs to learn the game right now. The one year at Duke, you see this with, I think, a lot of one and done players, they miss that development period, and he just really needs to learn how to channel all his athleticism and his skills so it can translate to the game better. He was 8 for 25 tonight, which is not good at all. But just the fact that he's not shy and he gets in there and gets his shots up, I don't expect him to shoot that poorly all the time. Because he's a capable offensive player. But it's good to have a space like the G League for him to just get out there and get some shots up. I kind of liken it to a player playing JV instead of, and like playing JV as a freshman instead of playing varsity. Just give you some time to get some reps. It's no shame in that. He's a young kid. He's got a lot of basketball in front of him. So I think this is a good spot for him. And again, Cardell mentioned Jared Jack. I saw him, last year in the G League when I think he was playing for Rio Grande. I can't remember, but they came here to play the go-go. And seeing him tonight, that's a whole different dude than who he was even last year. So he looked good. He was sharp, in shape. And if this continues, he'll be called up very soon, which is it's always good to see, especially it's from a local guy, so that's always good. But a vet like him just kind of getting another run at it, and he obviously got something left in the tank. So maybe a contender take a chance on him. Have a steady hand, maybe run somebody's second unit or something like that. So yeah, man, it was a good showing for him.
All right. If you guys have no other players, gonna move on to the G League Ignite. I want to ask you guys what your initial thoughts were. Twitter was going crazy early this morning for good reason. It was kind of refreshing. It was also weird. Like it was like a weird flashback to like the bubble for both the NBA and the WNBA for a little bit, where like you wake up, basketball was really like literally about to start. So it's kind of weird for a second, but it was cool. I know I enjoyed watching them this morning. But Ray, we'll start with you. Your initial thoughts on the Ignite, and then Cardell.
It was cool, man. I just like this concept altogether. Just to just kind of give these guys a space to just truly kind of ease their way into professional life. Again, I know we keep mentioning Jared Jack, but I think he's going to be extremely valuable for them for however long he sticks around. Like Cardell said, he's a guy that, can mentor them and educate them on, what life in the NBA is like, but also kind of lead by example and show them he can still play so they can, they can learn. Like it always goes, the words go on a little better when the old guy shows you he can actually still get it done. But in regards to the prospects, the guys look good, man. I start with Jalen Green. He showed some flashes, man. Of course, his athleticism was on display. He had 11 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Ran the floor well, moved without the ball, but he did kind of show his youth and inexperience a little bit. Got a little over anxious, made things too hard for himself. And on defense, sometimes he was ball watching. But overall, a good showing for him. Jonathan Kaminga, 19 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds, 2 blocks. Showed some good instincts, passed the ball well. Showed the full range of his game, extended out to the 3-point line, mixed up his scoring on post-ups, and drove to the basket. He defended well for the most part, but definitely needs to be more consistent on that end. And I would like to see him hit the boards a little harder. But maybe the biggest surprise for me was Deshaun Nix, 12 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. He attacked the basket. When he got in the game, he sped it up on both ends. He picked up the pace on offense, and he was harassing Santa Cruz guards defensively. I think he fed off Jared Jack a lot when they were in the game together. Green and Kaminga, they get a lot of the attention and limelight, and deservedly so. But Nix was impressive tonight, man. If he keeps this up, his stock is going to definitely rise.
Cardell.
Yeah, I'm gonna start with Deshaun Nix. You could see the influence already. I saw one play where he drove hard left, pump fake, defender jump, and he didn't really jump into him because he got him so good with the pump fake. The defender, all he could do was fall on him coming out the air. And I'm like, that's Jared Jack all day. I'm like, damn, he's already clicking. And that's a good thing to see because that means Young is not only receptive and listening, but he's applying. That's the part where player development, people overlook that part. You can teach anybody anything under the sun. It's up to them to apply. And sometimes you got to have guts to apply because you can't be scared to make a mistake. And it's 50-50 when it comes to players, and that's the difference in players that they grow. So, I love his poise. Obviously him and Jack was kind of splitting, time at point. I know Knicks is pretty much going to probably be a point most of the time at the next level. You know what I'm saying? But I like his poise and how he took his time. He didn't get sped up, and he made plays and he scored. So it was a good start for him. Obviously, Kaminga, I felt, played the best out of all the young prospects, that took this route. And I like his motor, man. His athleticism, his body, his length, his size. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Jaylen Brown when he first got in the league. And people forget, they look at Jaylen Brown now, but it wasn't like that when he first got in the league. He was kind of just an athletic defender. You know what I'm saying? He'll make plays here and there and get shots. But that motor of always competing, that's rare. You don't find that. And for him to have that to be so young at 18, you gotta understand at 18, 19, Jaylen Brown was at Cal. You know what I mean? This kid's in here going against grown men. You know what I'm saying? With high level pro experience from all over the globe. So, and he made a big impact, man, on both ends. And I just like what I saw, man. He needs to slow down a little bit a couple times. He got, turn the ball up, but that's to be expected. He's anxious his first game. I'm not going to get too high, get too low, but I love his two-way impact and in many ways he can just take over a game. That's rare to see that in such a young player. I felt Bobby Brown played a huge presence. He was definitely somebody that, along with Jack, you could just tell the veteran presence, setting guys up, telling them where to go, basically teaching them on the fly. And he managed to hit some points and make it look easy as well. Hit some deep threes and stuff, made it look easy. So I felt he was great. And also Brandon Ashley from Arizona forward, man, he looked great. He was set up constantly. He had 17 points and 9 rebounds on 7 to 12 shooting. He didn't make any 3-pointers, but who cares? His impact was felt, man. He's super athletic, finishes strong, hit some shots in transition. So, it was a great start for them, man. I'm anxious to see how they, progress. Once the scouting report catches up in teams, because they're gonna be the marked team, because they know every time you play this team, you're on ESPN, everybody watching you. So guys gonna be hungry. It is what it is. We're not gonna make no excuses about it. We're not gonna act like that's not what it is. And for the other youngest, that Jalen Green showed, like Raymond said, he showed flashes, but I want to see him be more consistent. Especially, he was like the #1 player coming out of high school. If you went to college, definitely want to see that. And Isaiah Todd, Singh Soto. I know Singh and Soto didn't get in the game. Isaiah Todd, rough first game, but I like that he was active and he wasn't scared. He was trying to mix it up, play like a stretch forward, because that's what he's going to be at the next level. Like we just saw with the Wizards, the Bouchers and Shakams. I think that's his future, but he just got to be more consistent and put it all together.
All right, gonna move on to the Bayhawks. A second. Cardell, we can start with you on this one.
I'm definitely gonna start with. First of all, it was a good win, but I'm definitely gonna start with Khalid Homsley. He did it all, man. Shooting, scoring. Had a mean dunk in the game. He punching on somebody bad, man. I was like, shoot, I didn't know he really had that in his game, man. And it just goes to show you the level of the league compared to the G League. You know what I'm saying? That he got to come down here and get some seasoning or whatnot. But like we just talked about, Washington isn't one of the best teams in the league. It is what it is. It's tough to make that transition, but I felt when he played within himself and took, I'm not gonna say smart shots, because he took shots that he can make, but when he stays within himself, he's a very good scorer. I think when he kind of gets excited and starts trying to do the Brad Bill type stuff, he ain't there yet, and that's when he got into trouble. He was efficient at first, but then as the game went on, he became inefficient, but it was neither here nor there. His impact was already felt. He already had it going, and guys fed off that. I like what Cassius Winston brought, his steady play, how he controls the pace. That's to be expected, man. He's been doing that pretty much since high school when I first saw him through Michigan State. He's just one of those guys. He's in that Chris Paul mode where he can control the game and not even score a point. I like his impact. He had 16 points and 5 assists. Yoli Childs was another one, the 6'8" forward, bouncy, had 11 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 or 6 shooting. But I think at 6'8", he's going to have to decide. I think he's still trying to figure out, do he want to be a traditional 4 or be more out on the wing as a 3? And right now, he don't have the skill set to be a 3, so he's kind of a tweener. So he has to develop and figure out what it is he's best at and what he wants to be, and focusing on that. But he had an efficient night, obviously. So all in all, it was a good win, and we just gonna see how they go moving forward.
Right.
Yeah, man. No, good win for them. They look good together. Yeah, like Cardell mentioned, Cassius Winston, he just had his steady hand on the game. 16 and 5. He did have 5 turnovers, but it's they weren't like careless ones. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I expect for him to progress nicely down and eventually end up back in the league. Jordan Bell, his he was active. He showed a lot of what he did in his limited action for the Wizards. I really don't understand why he was sent down as opposed to some of the other guys they have, because he brings a lot of aggression and activity, especially on the defensive end and rebounds where they needed the most. Yeah, Yoli Childs, he was good. Cardell really hit his analysis on the head. He just gotta expand his game, because that's, I think once he finds his niche that way, he'll be he'll kind of settle into his role. But yeah, man, overall it was a good win for them. I'm glad the some of the guys from here get a chance to compete, seeing as how the Go-Go didn't send the team. So it's just good for them to stay active and get some reps in. And looking forward to what they do for the rest of the season.
Okay. Here's the fun part. This is our last segment of this program, just so you guys get to understand how this is gonna go. Again, it'll be today's games, the slate of today's games as a whole. Cardell and Race share with you guys standout players, notes from the Ignite games, and then the Bayhawks. And then lastly, On the Verge, which is exactly what it sounds like. Which one you guys want to go first? I know it's only been one day, but
Go ahead, Raymond.
I like what Jalen Leck brought. He had 12 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. He's of course a highly touted player. It's just, again, he has what a lot of the affliction a lot of young athletic players have. He just needs to slow down and let the game come to him. And then once he gets used to the size, strength, speed, and athleticism at the next level, I think we'll be fine. But I did like what he brought to the game today.
All right, Cardell.
Hey man, I got to roll with Jared Judd. I mean, with the experience he already has playing in the league, he's light years ahead where other guys are. But I think he just know how to win the game. You know what I'm saying? You don't have a drop off if he's your second point guard. All he got to do is learn the system, and he done seen it all because he's been in the league forever. And now that he's in shape, he's healthy. Man, he got everything going for him. But as far as the skill set, he looks sharp, man, like real sharp. Like he looks sharper than the youngest. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of teams that can use his services right now because when you go to that second unit, it's you know what I mean? You don't know quite what you're getting with a lot of second units. And I definitely think he can help a team right now. Pretty sure he got some calls after that performance because he looked real good. So I think he's the one for the first episode for sure.
All right, we're gonna. You guys have nothing else to add? We're gonna reconvene Friday evening, after Wizards Outlook for another double header, if you will, a Wizards Outlook and a G League rundown. Thank you guys for tuning in. You guys have a good night, and I hope you guys enjoyed the very first episode of the G League rundown. Get this right. All right, say bye to you guys for a second time.